They look at you and see something harmless. They hear you speak and think you're simple. They watch you work and think you're small. And you let them. You let their arrogance breathe. You let their certainty grow. Because in their mind, you're already playing the losing hand. They mistake your quiet for ignorance. They mistake your patience for weakness. They mistake your smile for surrender. But every fool's grin hides a calculation. And yours is almost complete. The greatest advantage you can ever hold is letting them believe you have none. Because the moment they underestimate you, they stop watching closely. They stop guarding their secrets. They stop preparing for your moves. And that's when they hand you more power than you could ever take by force. See, arrogance is a gift, but only for the ones smart enough to use it against them. When they think you're not a threat, they talk too much. They brag too freely. They reveal their plans without hesitation, because in their mind, you can't possibly do anything with the information. And you just nod. You agree. You let them believe their own narrative. You even feed it. You drop little signs that confirm their false image of you. You let them think you're distracted. You let them think you're harmless. You let them think you're smaller than you are. Because every time they lower their guard, you see a little more. A little more of the way they think. A little more of where they're weak. A little more of where the cracks in their armor are hiding. This is why the fool's role is a weapon. It's not about pretending to be stupid. It's about pretending to be safe. It's about allowing their ego to build a cage around them while you're quietly holding the key. You're not in a rush, because you know the truth. Control given freely is far stronger than control taken by force. And once they've given it to you, they won't even realize it's gone, until you're already sitting in their chair. Being the fool is not an accident. It's a mask you put on with precision. It's a role you play so well that even the sharpest eyes can't see through it. You choose when to speak, and more importantly, when to stay silent. Because silence is a weapon they'll never suspect you're holding. You decide which truths to hide. You decide which lies to let breathe. And sometimes you even feed them a false detail or two, just to make sure they believe they're one step ahead. You let them underestimate you on purpose. You let them assume they're the smartest in the room. Because when people think you're harmless, they relax. They drop their guard. They stop watching closely. And that's when they reveal themselves. They show you their weaknesses without realizing it. They speak freely about their plans. They talk about their allies and enemies as if you couldn't possibly use that information against them. Every conversation becomes a vault they leave wide open. And you, the fool in their eyes, become the quiet thief, walking in and out with everything you need. You memorize their blind spots. You study their bad habits. You notice every crack in the armor they think is unbreakable. And all the while, you keep the same calm smile. Because they can't fight what they don't see coming. They can't defend against a blade they don't know is already at their throat. The fool's mask isn't a disguise of weakness, it's a shield for your patience. It buys you the time you need to make sure that when you strike, you don't just wound, you take the throne in a single move. While they laugh, you learn. While they boast, you build. While they waste their energy protecting what they already have, you're creating something they can't see coming. You don't fight for attention, you withdraw from it. You don't challenge their ego, you feed it just enough to keep them blind. Because the more they believe you're harmless, the more freedom you have to prepare in the shadows. You start studying their patterns, how they move, where they're strong, where they're lazy, where they've grown comfortable. Because comfort is the beginning of the end for anyone who holds power. You learn the rules, not to follow them, but to understand how to bend them, break them, and rewrite them in ways they won't notice until it's too late. You sharpen skills they don't even know you have. You build alliances they've never considered. You position pieces on the board so subtly that by the time they realize what's happening, every move they make will only work in your favor. And you do all of this without announcing a thing. No declarations, no warnings, no hints. Because real power doesn't announce itself, it arrives fully formed when the moment is right. This is the discipline of the fool. Patience that looks like passivity. Calm that hides calculation. A smile that covers a sharpened blade. And when the preparation is complete, you'll be ready to step into the light while they're still laughing at the shadow you left behind. It starts quietly. Not with an explosion, but with a subtle change in the air. Your movements become sharper. Your decisions, cleaner. There's a new weight in your presence, something they can't quite put their finger on. But because they've already decided who you are, they miss it. They've locked you inside the box they built for you, and they assume you'll never climb out. So you let them keep thinking that. You start making moves in silence. Small, precise adjustments that shift the balance without drawing attention. You redirect opportunities toward yourself, closing doors for them while they're still convinced they're the ones in control. And because they're not watching, these little changes begin to stack. One choice at a time. One door closed here. One connection secured there. Until the game board no longer belongs to them, it belongs to you. You can feel the momentum building. The pieces you've placed start to click together, like a lock turning in slow motion. And you know, once it clicks all the way, everything changes in an instant. But they're still too busy laughing. Too busy feeling safe. Too busy believing that the fool they dismissed couldn't possibly rewrite the rules of the game. That's the beauty of being underestimated. When the shift finally happens, they don't just lose. They never even saw the moment they lost. When the moment comes, you don't ask. You don't announce. You move. And by the time they realize what's happening, it's already over. The power they thought you could never touch is in your hands. They're left wondering how it happened so fast. But you know the truth. It didn't happen fast at all. It was built piece by piece in the shadows where they never bothered to look. Act 7, the reaction. 15-0 draw to 1730, some will be stunned into silence. Some will scramble to rewrite history, to pretend they always believed in you. Others will seethe, angry that you didn't stay in the role they assigned you. Let them react however they want. The throne doesn't require the approval of those who didn't build it. Playing the fool isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's camouflage. It's the patience to let them write you off so you can write your own ending. So keep your smile. Keep your silence. Keep your secrets. And when the time comes, don't just prove them wrong, replace them. Because the sweetest victory isn't being accepted at their table. It's sitting on the throne they never thought you'd touch.